The Mahavakyas as keys to transcendental perception. How 4 sacred phrases dissolve the boundary of self. Opening transmission. There are words that point and words that pierce. There are teachings that inform and teachings that dissolve. The Mahavakyas do not belong to philosophy. They belong to silence. They are not meant to be discussed, but entered, not as concepts, but as portals into the seeing that ends the seeker. Each Mahavakya, each great saying is not a declaration. It is a shift, a perceptual transformation so profound that the distinction between inside and outside collapses, between sound and silence, subject and object, self and infinity. These are not religious slogans. They are keys, not to understanding, but to undivided perception. And when meditated upon with stillness and sincerity, they do not answer your questions. They dissolve the one who asks. Let us now enter these 4 sacred phrases, not to recite them, but to listen through them and remember what was always awake beneath the noise of becoming. 1. What is a Mahavakya? A Mahavakya means great utterance. But the word great here does not mean large in size. It means total. It means irreducible. It means so complete in its truth that it reveals the whole cosmos in a single breath. There are 4 Mahavakyas, each from one of the 4 Vedas. They are considered the essence of non-dual wisdom, not as theology, but as direct pointers to the nature of consciousness. These phrases are not meant to be analyzed. They are meant to be absorbed like mantras, to resonate through your subtle body until meaning gives way to pure seeing. They are not beliefs, they are recognitions. And when internalized deeply, they trigger a perceptual breakthrough where the separate self begins to fade, and the silent wholeness behind all things is revealed. 2. The 4 sacred phrases. Let us briefly name the Mahavakyas in simple English before entering them one by one. Each one is a pointer, not to something new, but to something already true, already awake within you. 1. I am that. 2. Consciousness is all. 3. This self is the infinite. 4. Awareness alone is real. Each of these phrases strikes a different chord in the spiritual body. Some dissolve boundaries, some open inner space, some reveal the silence beneath identity. Together, they form a symphony of awakening. 3. I am that, the collapse of separation. This phrase is a lightning strike to the illusion of otherness. When you say I am that, you are not affirming a belief. You are reversing the gaze. Instead of seeing yourself as a separate subject gazing at the world, you begin to feel that the world is gazing back through your eyes. Not as something else, but as you. I am that tree, that silence, that bird call, that grief, that stillness. It is not poetic. It is perceptual unity. It is the erasure of the boundary line that says, here is me and there is everything else. This phrase must be spoken slowly, like a stone dropped into the stillness of being. Each time it echoes, the ripples of separation soften until there is only one field, one gaze, one undivided now. 4. Consciousness is all. The end of materialism. This Mahavakya dissolves the illusion that matter is the fundamental reality. It invites you to see that everything, sight, sound, sensation, even thought, is arising within consciousness. The tree is not made of wood. It is made of beingness appearing as form. The body is not a machine. It is a ripple in the ocean of perception. When you hold this Mahavakya in the breath, the weight of the world begins to lift, because you no longer experience the world as something out there pressing against you. You feel it as texture within awareness. This is not solipsism. It is a sacred reorientation, a recognition that you were never inside a body looking out. You are the field in which body and world arise together, as one appearance, one knowing. This self is the infinite, the return to the center. This is not about the personal self. It is not about your story, your past, your goals, or even your soul. This self refers to the witnessing presence behind all change, that which has never been born, never changed, never aged, never gone anywhere. And infinite does not mean large. It means without boundary, without edge, without center or circumference. When this phrase is realized, not just repeated, you feel the stillness behind all activity, the watcher of the breath, the quiet behind thought, and you begin to see that stillness is not your awareness. It is awareness itself, and it has no boundary. This recognition can undo years of spiritual effort, because you realize the search for something more was like waves looking for water. Awareness alone is real, the final turning. This Mahavakya removes the last veil, the veil of dual perception. It affirms that nothing exists outside of consciousness, not as a philosophical idea, but as a living perception. The world, the body, the breath, the thoughts, all of these are temporary appearances. But what is constant? What was here before the first thought? What remains after the last breath? Only awareness. This phrase does not create a mystical experience. It exposes the illusion of experience itself and leaves you standing nowhere, yet present everywhere, as the space in which everything comes and goes. 7. How to practice with the Mahavakyas. These phrases are not mantras in the usual sense. You do not need to chant them 108 times. Instead, they are to be entered slowly, like stepping into a vast ocean one breath at a time. Here are 3 ways to work with them. 1. Breath infusion. On the inhale, gather stillness. On the exhale, silently speak the Mahavakya. Let it dissolve into your body like warm light. 2. Inner whispering. Let the phrase echo in the mind gently throughout the day, not forced, just like a background fragrance. 3. Dissolution meditation. Sit in silence. Bring the Mahavakya into awareness. Then stop. Let the words drop. And rest in what remains. Remember, the point is not to hold the words. It is to fall into the seeing they point toward. 8. Why these phrases still matter today. In a world flooded with information, comparison, and performance, the Mahavakyas are a return to simplicity, to the non-conceptual silence that no technology, belief, or system can replace. They are ancient, yes, but their power is immediate, because they do not point to a past tradition. They point to a timeless recognition that you are not a seeker walking toward truth. You are the field in which the path, the seeker, and the goal are one. And when you realize this, not intellectually but in your cells, the search ends, and presence becomes luminous. Mystical reflection. What is the sound before thought? What is the sight before eyes? What is the I before identity? The Mahavakyas are not answers, they are not ideas, they are openings into a dimension of perception that is always present yet rarely seen. You do not need to chant them loudly, you need only to remember them like a seed in the heart, and in stillness, let them bloom. There is no doctrine here, only direct knowing, only the clear, quiet realization, I am not the one who is becoming, I am what was never born. In the next sacred offering, we will enter non-human Siddhas in the Puranas. Who were they? A mystical exploration of beings beyond the human form, their powers, presence, and the hidden truths they still whisper through the scriptures of ancient India.